Oh.
Okay, kita take first.
No, we back online.
You already back? That's fast, eh?
Hi everyone, thank you for bearing with us and staying with us still. We've had a few glitches today, but hopefully that's the last of it for today. As Puan Sharifah mentioned, regarding as Puan Sharifah mentioned, one of the challenges about creating a positive environment, especially managing 16 branches, is I guess the method of communication and trying to get everyone to feel connected, even though we are tuning in virtually. Do you want to?
Yeah, okay. As what I mentioned just now, the experience of managing or communicating with, 16 branches remotely is a different experience.
I can't imagine how that would be to make everyone feel included.
Yes.
Online at 16 branches with different cultures.
Yeah, we need to get them to stream, to align with what, we communicate on the guidelines, on the process, on our objective, it's not going to be easy. It's not easy at all, actually. Okay, but then, thanks to the technology, I can say that, currently we have our teams whereby I can always, talk to my team, except when I want, or, kalau, let's say, for example, that we want to meet the whole team also, we can bring them in, it's a different experience lah. Kalau nak ikutkan dulu, before the MCO, how actually we communicate lagi susah sebenarnya. So where we need to get IT to help us, to set up the TVs, the screen, and then to give us the code number where everything need to dial in.
Code, TV semua.
Yes, we used to have the legacy setup.
Yes. Susah kan, leceh sikit kan masa tu kan, like everyone macam duduk dekat satu bilik, tengok TV macam tu, something like that lah, yeah. Okay, and then I think thanks to MCO also, because what the benefit that we encounter is that the improvement in terms of technology, where the Zooms, the Teams comes in, so make it our job much more easier, even we have to manage the branch remotely. So it's not easy, but then I think everyone have to have the common ground lah. They have to understand that they are from at HQ side, they have to communicate, they need to know their roles also. It will not be a limitation for them to addressing any issues, any feedback. By right, it shouldn't be any issue lah kan. So that will be my issue and challenges lah actually.
Yeah, I also want to top up something on top of Sharifah is we at IT, basically we also play an important part in promoting the positive workplace environment. So we have introduced quite a number of solutions, like for example teams that actually is the collaboration within the team member. So then we also have notebooks provided to all the staff. So basically they can have a work-life balance. They can basically with the notebook they can work basically anywhere.
You can work remotely.
Correct.
I didn't realize how much technology really can foster in a positive environment until you actually have to manage 16 branches across the nation. Thinking back, actually, you need to be able to have good support system, external support system, infrastructure, like what Dr. Nurul mentioned, in order to foster that environment. Kalau tak, we work remotely, susah nak connect dengan boss. How do we then that spirit and that culture is gone? Okay. So I guess we've discussed some challenges about creating a positive work environment. I'm curious, what conflicts have there been maybe in terms of trying to make a positive work environment? Any conflicts if there are any? We talked about challenges. I guess then maybe what are the conflicts that you have encountered? Maybe other disagreements that you've had between the team in trying to foster a good working environment?
I would prefer to talk on this in general. Because I think everybody come to work with a mission to get things done. That's why you actually enter into a job market. If not, you are doing business somewhere. Because of your skills, because of your specialty, you come and join the organizations. But along the way, there will be a project, be it a big project or small project that you have to undertake. You will see a lot of people with different character, background, and etc. some people who are very technical sound, they will speak like a technical expert in the area of where their project are. When I speak to IT was very, very IT centered. When we talk to HR people, very employee centered. When we talk to business people, very business centered. But when it comes to project, when we put everyone together, this is where you can look at the diversities of the background. There will be also people in the project, not specifically showing or pointing to anyone. They are very vocal. They are very dominant. They every time I say you must listen to me. There are also people who are very good in stakeholder relations. I say this. They can manage the bosses. They can manage, but when it comes to work, they get people to manage them. So
Some different strengths for different people.
some people say I don't care. I just want to get things done because they are very technical sound. So those are things that when we basically get into a project, that's where the conflict starts lah.
Yes.
When you are going to area which is, I would say, uncharted area, that it is actually beyond the scope of every day. You be uncomfortable to get to know new things, get to agree on disagreement and things like that. Yeah. So I think that's a challenge when they are projects. Yeah.
I think besides the diversity of people from the background, expertise, experience that everyone has, the conflict here is managing expectations. Dala already diversified. And then everyone come with different expectations to get things done. So when all these things come in, and then everyone just want to get their things done, that's why the conflicts, and it can be a huge conflict if we do not come into an alignment towards the same objective or goals. So that is very important that somebody have to be there, or everyone has to be agreed to mediate that this we have to go towards common goal, or else it will
Common mission.
yes common mission. Then everyone will be focused. Put aside of everyone's expectation, we just want to get this thing done, and how can everyone collaborate and support each other on that.
But sometimes I just want to add on this, especially when we are in project kan. Although we hear people say, this is a professional, nothing personal and things like that. We have to remember, we are all human, Yeah. Honestly, they are in a previous project, I also cried, because sometimes, the person can talk better, but the way he actually or she convey the message was like straight away macam tikam me, mati menangis, So they are also required you to acquire certain skills, how to talk mellowly, but the point come straight. But I think I learned from leaders also. Our senior management team are very good in tackling this. Sometimes it's a very huge problem, but the way they talk, sometimes, we feel that it is still manageable lah. So I have to applaud them for the skills that I still need to learn about how to speak, not direct, but straight to the point.
For me, when dealing with conflict, the timing is very important. So when conflict happens, it need to be resolved as soon as possible. Else it will become a toxic environment, which it won't be beneficial to the workplace. So I'm a believer of, when dealing with conflict, we must set some expectation rights lah. The most important is the common goal. The goal is basically to identify the root cause of the issue and also to find a solution for it. Then of course, secondly, we should when dealing with conflict, we should be focusing on the issue and not the people.
Correct.
On the issue and not the people. Sometimes it's tricky to do, right?
Example. I got an example for this. For let's say I have a conflict, so it's the example is a house is on fire. So the first question, we should not have focusing on the question of who set up the fire, who played with fire, but instead we should focus on the question how we can put down the fire, how we can save the people trapped in the house.
Correct.
Right. Then later there will be we will have to relook into the question why. So it's where we actually identify the root cause, find a solution for it, and also to prevent it from reoccur again in future.
I guess that you kind of have to not take things personal to an extent. You need to be able to look at it objectively. What's the root cause, and then how do we go about solving it, and then we find a solution and then try to solve the problem.
It's basically a common ground of what Karin mentioned, and also they should be someone that they need to be compromised. They need to compromise for it.
Correct.
That's my thought. Thank you.
think what Casey said just now is very true. For me, I'm more to the approach of prevention is better than cure. We as a leader, we know that these are the common things that highly can happen because we are dealing with people. First thing first, we need to understand whether we have a clear vision, mission, and do we have a core value within our teams. I can say that we are lucky enough that we have our core value, which is we call it think. T stands for
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
H for
Hardworking.
I for
Integrity.
N for
Nurturing.
and K for
Knowledgeable.
So it's all about how people should behave.
Yep.
If everyone demonstrate the same attitude and hold on to the core value, I do believe that everything that we want to implement is going to do it smoothly. So that will be one. Always we need to always remind our team that we hold on that core value. So we can put aside all the negative thoughts, negative feelings, attitude, personality, or whatsoever. Second thing is that whether we do have a proper platform for our people to voice out. What are the things that they expect, their satisfaction, these are the things, okay? The platform is very, very important because this is where we able to, some of our people, they are not vocal. Dia tak tahu how to express. They don't want to express. They may be shy, dia malu-malu, ataupun diorang tak tahu how. But then they are good in writing. They can write because when they put in their opinions, what they think, what they feel, So when we have this kind of survey, we should able to look into how to deal with this before it become problems. Sebab apa, bila when the damage happen, you nak rectify sangat susah. When you deal with people, it's not like system. System kalau downtime, you boleh terus betulkan kan. Kata okay, downtime 5 minutes kan. Macam tadi kan, kita ada downtime. Okay. Alright, so but then kalau people, dia dah damage hati, dia dah terluka, how? It's not easy actually kan. So for me, that is very, very important. Before the damage done, you need to find, you need to understand and listen to your people first. What are the things that they are happy, what are not, So
What are the
it's
needs
sangat-sangat
and all that.
important.
I feel like a common theme across everyone's viewpoints is you need to have strong emotional intelligence.
Oh, yes.
Because if you have conflict, you can resolve it. You can manage expectations, resolve it timely, and what you mentioned, have the good platform. And macam Puan Sharifah mentioned, kalau ada tergurus hati, susah lah kan.
Nurin, I nak share my personal experience
Yes,
lah.
yes.
Bila dah cakap tergores hati, because I experienced it. My previous organisation, my boss really, scold me. I'm being scolded actually, for nothing, because the reason is that because listen to other people. Not actually, bila kita dengar pada orang, by right we should ask also, betul ke macam ni, betul ke macam tu, So bila you tiba-tiba you kena marah for nothing, kita tak buat apa salah tapi kita kena marah. So but then I tell to myself, how I actually motivate myself again. I cakap, kata tak apa. I kata, so this is lesson learned. I'm glad that I come across this journey. I kata, I being scolded. I tahu macam mana rasa sakit. But I will not, do this to my people. I will try not to do this to my people.
Break the cycle.
Yes. Sometimes orang kata, I selalu encounter a very good boss. Itu kira macam rugi lah. You all tak rasakan macam tu kan. Tapi, I pernah rasa. So it's really sakit sebenarnya.
Okay, thank you Puan Sharifah for sharing that. Ask one more question before we go into Q&A, if that's okay. I think my last question to you guys is, everyone here is a leader. We've discussed about how to create inclusive environment, what are the conflicts, what are the challenges. How do you guys then as leaders manage and create an inclusive environment for your team?
I would like to start with understanding the career aspirations of your team member. That is the closest people who work, not only for you, but it's actually for the organizations. By you understanding them better, what they actually inspired to be, this is something will help you to create a positive workplace, because to a certain extent, when you plan for their development and whatnot, not everybody wanna be at a certain level. Some people are just happy with what they are doing, and some mother who just give birth to their babies, you know, they just want to be like settle down for the next 2 years doing the things that they are doing now. They do not want to kacau their routine. So I mean, by understanding their career aspiration will also help you to build, you know, even a dedicated team lah, I would say. And the second thing, I always remember this because empowerment is very important. As we discussed just now, I think because of the empowerment we are here, you know, because of the empowerment, you know, from when we started our career, we are here now becoming a leader. So I think when our current and past bosses has created the path for us, why can't we do the same for our people? So that's what always I have in mind when it comes to creating.
That's what create,
for
you know,
people.
become a good leaders lah. Actually,
Correct.
to create another leader.
And it's okay if you telling your team, I don't know, I am
Very
currently
true,
down.
Dr. Nurul.
you
Very
know.
true.
I
Nothing wrong
am,
with that.
I am currently in bad shape, so that they know you are leader. It's not a god. You are also vulnerable.
You're also human.
Correct. I also have an open conversation with my immediate supervisor when he say, hey, Doc, today I have a lot of problems, so that you mellow down. So don't bring problems to him or her now because he's just vulnerable now, you know. Maybe you want to add on, Casey.
For me as a leader, basically I may have a very observe on my surrounding, so I need to be aware on this the state of my my team. So in the training, basically we have learned a phrase which is already tattooed in my mind. So it says that there is no unresourceful people. There is only people with unresourceful
Resourceful
states. So as a leader, we need to make sure that our team member basically is at the positive state lah. They have to stay. They have to be focused. They have to be motivated. Yeah. Then they also have to be happy. So sometimes, I mean, as a leader, if in the office we observe some of our team member, they are not, you know, not the same like as before. Maybe he feel distracted. He feel stressed or what. As a leader, we can always approach him to understand what is the challenges that he is currently facing. We as a leader, we may not able to solve the problem. Not every problem leader can solve, but at least we let them know that we are facing the challenge together.
You're not alone.
Yes.
Correct.
Another thing also, I'm also a believer in approachable leader. So it's like a open door concept.
Or no door at all.
Sekarang macam tak ada pintu. Okay, so it allows my teams to seek for my advice if they require. I'm always there for them, and the team will not feel, you know.
Actually, I love your office. Level 5 is so
Yes,
like
we
Google
actually
kind of.
in level 5 we are actually open concept. It's
Open
actually promote
concept.
collaboration.
Yes, agree on that.
Kita orang jealous.
Betul.
Then one more thing I want to share is also on we as a leader, we need to accept the fact that each and every employee should have their own strengths and weaknesses. So for me, I will always focus on their strength. As for weaknesses, not to say I don't care, but as a leader, I will help provide guidance, mentoring, training, maybe just help them overcome the weakness. Yeah.
Thank you, Casey, for sharing that. Karina or Puan Sharifah?
Okay,
Go first, okay.
I go first. Alright. I think for me, the most important thing is leading by example. You need to walk the talk as a leader. Okay, you need to walk the talk, meaning that, you know, whatever direction or, you know, the activities, initiative done must be led by you. The team leader, the leader also have to take charge. They need to be accountable, you know. They cannot cakap kata, okay, if problem happen, is blame other person. You know, blame department lain, you know. It shouldn't be that way. Because you are part of the team. Walaupun you are not really the owner of the project, for example, I'm talking about projects, you know, but we are part of the team, you know, so we have to take the lead. We also have to take the accountability when things happen. When you talk about you want to have a teamwork, you have to demonstrate that kind of teamwork. Okay, not only to your team, but also, you know, across the division, across the department, you know, you need to show that kind of spirit. Okay. And then the next thing is that for me, like example that what I practice in my department is that if let's say we do have projects, kan, I will get all my managers and the respective person to be in the team. Why? Because that I would like everyone actually to throw out their ideas. Okay, to throw out their ideas, they can also. I love to see the debate between them. You know, the A person akan cakap macam ni, the B person akan cakap macam ni. Then at the end of the day, we able to produce a very good suggestion, a very good projects. You know, that covers all angles. You know, because for example, like we in business, that of course we want to bring in business. You know, but at the same time, we also have to maintain to have a good asset quality. You know, that kind of debate also happen. You know, so for me, you know, when you have a project, you need to get everyone in, because one, satu ialah we want that idea to come out. Yang kedua also, we will train our team actually to think. They need to think. They need to think outside the box. We need to think, see also how people see things differently. So that's how we can able to create a very good proposal, you know. So that will be my suggestion.
Okay, thank you, Puan Sharifah. Karen, maybe you'd like to give your thoughts before we go into Q&A?
Sure. For myself, I think active listening. Active listening is a skill set. In fact, I'm a very impatient person. I'm practicing and telling myself I have to learn how to active listening to, especially my team members, because at a certain point we want to get things done fast, or get things done as per what we want to, because in business we need to drive numbers especially. So there are many things that you have to act fast in order to catch up the pace of our expectation from our external stakeholders like banks and whatnot. So we have to be align the expectations from internal and also external parties. So what I need to tell is, I think active listening is one of the skill set which you have to actively listen to the team members, how things can be done better, not only my way, maybe my way, only my way, one way, but from different team members, it could be have many ways. So I think listening from different people and different age group, perhaps experience, background, they could provide different ideas, different thoughts. So by listening to that, we are actually open to ideas and open to alternatives of solutions. So that actually help to create different outcome and fantastic result, like what Casey mentioned earlier.
Powerful word.
Yes,
I guess that echoes what Puan Sharifah mentioned also, like let the team kind of diversify their train of thoughts while allowing them to speak well, because we're doing
Correct. I think sharing the brain is much more important than a person's brain rather than everyone's chip in together.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Karen,
Sure.
for sharing that. So let's move on to the Q&As.
Wow, we have so many questions.
Yes.
Oh my god.
The first question is question from Putra. Was wondering what metrics or indicators do you use to assess inclusivity within your organization?
I think quick one, from people perspective, we have launched our employee engagement survey every 2 years. I think this year we, following up from the EES result, we actually done an impact survey. So just make sure that what has been planned has been conducted as what is supposed to be and supposed to have an impact lah. Quick one, I think other than that, we also looking at two important line also in terms of the profitability, because highly engaged employees will resulted to high productivity. And I think the last one is we're looking at attrition.
Yes.
Yes, so that is the end game, you know, whatever that you are doing at the end of the day, people stay or people leave and things like that will also cause most, you know, from what happened in organizations.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Dr. Nurul, for that. Let's move on to another question. This one from SP Tan. How can we support employees who feel they are being treated unfairly or experiencing negative behavior from their supervisors, ensuring a respectful and supportive work environment?
Okay.
Okay, I think this is much more on what I share my experience before, right? I think, it depends to the individual. So because if let's say you are people that can be said that highly motivate and you know how to motivate yourself, it much more easier. But there are people also would like a support, a support. So that's where the leader have to demonstrate openness. They have to be open. They, whenever your staff tell you, boss, I nak jumpa you sekejap. You don't tell, I tak sempat. Yes, you can, but now I quite busy. But I will let you know bila. So bila you cakap, bila you have that kind of conversation, don't forget, to call them, to talk to them. So I think the most important thing ialah kita kena be open. We need to be open to listen. Maybe the crisis is because diri dia sendiri, or maybe because of others, or maybe because of you. Because of the boss. So we need to be open. So kita tak boleh nak cakap kata, okay, I want only to hear a good things, I don't want to hear bad things. Okay, after listening to them, what next? Definitely, once they, for example, I give example, katakan I bergaduh dengan Karin lah, then I tell Dr. Nurul, kata, ni Karin suka cakap, tak nak buat kerja curi tulang, whatever. So I ni kerja banyak, dia kerja pergi shopping saja. For example, kan? So then when I tell this to Dr. Nurul, what Dr. Nurul next action? So, Dr. Nurul have to check whether betul atau tidak this thing happen, And maybe you need to have that open conversation between these two. Kan? Between these two. Kena ada face to face, okay? And Karin also need to be open also to accept. Kalau benda tu betul and these are the wrong things, sama ada you want to call both of them to come in or only individually is up to you. But the next thing what the staff would like to hear is apa dia punya solution. Is there any improvement on that or not? So sebab kalau you didn't take action, our staff won't trust us. They won't talk to us. So that sangat-sangat important lah.
I think from the HR standpoint, I think there are various ways that you can actually address this. Of course, macam Puan Sharifah cakap tadi, you can actually speak immediately to your immediate supervisors because this is the person that cause you feel uncomfortable. You can mention. But there's a way of managing this lah. Janganlah you pun sama marah, dia pun marah kan. And then secondly, if things haven't changed, you can speak to the boss of the boss. So I would say probably the head of departments or heads of divisions. But if things have not changed, there will be another channel that you can speak to HR. I think we are more than happy to facilitate this, but I think most of the time kita akan minta you try to settle between you first lah. Ultimately, there are also channel that you can, a higher channel that I would advise you later if you really encounter this. But I would not advise that lah.
Maybe before to have this thing happen, treat the way you want to be treated. Yes. So to minimize that, if you are respecting people and then found the root cause, why is it happening as such? Perhaps that your own way of communicating, is it not understanding overly, like cucuk hati or whatsoever. Then at the same time, the other person also need to know, what have they done before this, like open to
Apapun
others.
kita kena ingat, kita ni manusia biasa, bos pun manusia biasa juga. Ya, mereka pun kadang-kadang ada masalah ya.
I also want to chip in something. Sometimes the mutual respect needs to be there.
Betul.
Right.
Betul.
We as a staff, basically we need to maintain a good relationship with our superior,
Betul.
with our peer, and also to the subordinate, if any.
Betul.
Right, thank you everyone for your thoughts. We have time for one more question. Okay, question from Shah. Okay, what strategies can be employed to create safe spaces for open dialogue about inclusivity?
I always want to come from here. Macam we coined the word, but this is something that we need to catch up also lah. Understanding psychological safety is very important, especially when you are actually at leadership role, because by only understanding this, you can actually impart this knowledge to your people. Of course, now informations are available anywhere, but at the same time, I think we need to put effort to learn lah. Create a safe space ni ada macam-macam. Ada setengah bosses or leaders, they will bring their people out and have a conversations outside of the working hours. But janganlah you bawa dia keluar, you cerita lagi kerja working hours. Of course kalau I pun tak join lah lunch tu or dinner tu kan. So there should be a casual kind of catch up to understand their struggles outside of the working hours lah. Yeah.
I think that's a really good point. I guess then kind of that ends the Q&A session. So before we end the podcast, maybe everyone can kind of give one key takeaway that you want to share with the audience before we end the podcast.
It's okay to be vulnerable because we are just human beings. We are not robot. And I think give and take is very important as a human being. We are not perfect. Our people also not perfect. So this is where we come to a common ground that we need to learn from each other. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Nurul.
All right.
I personally, I will promote recognition. So let's say it's a staff that have been doing very well, they exceeded the expectation. It should be rewarded in some form of recognition. If a bonus, bagus. Kalau juga also okay. But put that aside, sometimes a simple gesture like a pat to the shoulder and tell them, hey, good job.
And for you, don't forget to pat yourself
yes.
also
Good job.
for taking care of people.
I mean, the staff will feel valued with the effort they have contributed.
Thank you for that.
For me, very simple. Happy people, happy workplace. And how to be happy, try to be open-minded, to accept and to respect what others' thoughts, opinion, and value each other. So when you have that kind of thoughts, then you will be happy. And once happy, the whole environment, the whole workplace will be happy as well. Then you will be productive and fantastic results again.
Fantastic.
Results.
Okay, for me, I nak share one quote actually from Wen Myers and the inclusion strategies. Okay, so this is what she said. Diversity is being invited to the dance. Inclusion is being asked to dance. Belonging is being able to dance how we want. And equity is having a turn picking the DJ. So I think it covers all. I think we need our people. We need to have that diversity. We need to have the equity. We need to have that inclusion workplace, in order to have a very good teamwork. Okay, that's for me.
Thank you so much, Sharifah. And with that, that's it. We've wrapped up the podcast for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Finally. So thank you, everyone, so much for joining us throughout all the episodes. Hopefully, we can work together for more episodes in the future.
Inshallah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.